So this is a bit of a dual purpose video. It's going to be a teardown and a repair. So I have some of these industrial barcode scanners that I received from recycling pickup. And they're not particularly worth anything. So I think I'm going to sell the ones that are in bad shape and then kind of keep whatever I can make out of the best ones for myself. And I think I could make 2 of these units, although this is the only one with a display. I'm not sure why it has a display, but it is what it is. But I have a problem where these all have busted pins, these little spring-loaded brass pins. And unfortunately, and fortunately, this is on its own little board, but I only have enough to make 2 working units, because the other issue is this barcode has to be readable, because this barcode apparently has some data in it that is more than just that number, which allows the scanner to pair with it. So basically I scan that and it goes into this pairing mode, and assuming the base is plugged into a computer and everything, when I plug this in it would sync with the wireless connection on this. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this unit apart. I've already tested this one. Everything in this works. So basically all I need to do is strip this down and swap out the interface board for the connection that goes to the barcode scanner at the inside here. I'm not sure what this connection pad is for. It must connect to something else, but there's just these little spring-loaded tabs that you push on to release it. And in theory, this one does have some sticky residue, so there's a possibility that that's stuck in there. A little tighter than normal. I've already tore one of these apart just to see. There we go. Here's that interface board. I'm wondering if the shielding will come out fairly easily. I don't know if I want to wash the shielding as well. Oh, yeah, it's all stuck in there with adhesive at one point. I'm not sure if there's really any benefit to... I might hope one of the other units that I'm not going to be using is cleaner base, maybe. Oh, actually, no, I gotta save this because I don't want to have to transfer that sticker. That's gonna be a pain in the butt. That's stuck down better, so I think I'm gonna leave that alone. And here's the control board. And some flash storage, and it's probably the brains, this square chip right here in the middle of the screen. Not sure what this enclosure is. It looks like it might be a transformer, but gonna unscrew the antenna here. Probably should have taken a before and after photo of these, but hopefully it'll be cleaner once I'm done. I'm not sure why there's so much sand in this. It's all sandy. Oop, gotta be careful with these ribbon cables. There we go. I don't know how to get these RJ45 style connectors out when it's inside the enclosure, but yeah, I think they meant well, but there's a trick to removing that I'm not aware of. Also, I just realized, where does this go? I gotta be mindful. Oops. Oh, it went like this. Okay, so these wipers touch this metal here. You can see the marks that they left. I'll have to clean that up a little better, but this might be a secondary antenna, would be my guess, since it's kind of in line with the screw hole for the antenna. Doesn't look like it's coupled to it though. Little chunk of brass screwed into the board. I'm not sure. But yeah, and unfortunately, this PCB is tied to this code, so I can't just move that code over to a different unit. It has to stay with this PCB, which I should probably label 1088. I'm going to be wiping this down with alcohol probably, so I don't know if labeling is going to hold up well. Oh well. 1088. Alright. Now we got this assembly here, which is the contacts for the scanner. Now it is possible that I could repair this using contacts from the other units. Something pokey. I could desolder those springy little pins, but that's going to be more work than it's worth. I don't think I want to do that, actually. Let's use a different screwdriver. I don't think I have a soldering iron that can get hot enough to work with the thermal mass that these pins have to get them out of their board. You see some of those contacts broke off. Because yeah, there's a lot of thermal mass I'm up against, and I just have a really basic welder soldering iron. So basically I'm going to be swapping this module out from a different unit that's the barcode's not readable. So I'm going to be cleaning this stuff up. I think I'm just going to throw it in my sink with some soapy water. And then once I'm done, I'm going to give it a heavy rinsing with rubbing alcohol to displace the water. And hopefully it'll be clean, because this is so dirty that trying to mount it in here and get it out was a huge pain. But yeah, off to the sink. So it's probably not the best use of my kitchen sink, but I think I've gotten these washed up pretty good now. I ended up washing both of the wall mounts that I have, so there's going to be a spare part in there. And as this slowly drains, I think I'm going to rinse these off. Now, I'm going to take these outside. I'm going to basically shake them dry. And then I'm going to douse them in rubbing alcohol to kind of speed up the drying process and displace any water. This should be just all plastic. It looks like it cleaned up pretty nice. Not as sandy anymore. That's good. I didn't realize this piece is removable. I guess I could have cleaned it a little better, although it looks like it turned out okay. Let's see here if I can get that back where it belongs. Uh-oh. There we go. Not sure what that plug's about. Maybe there's a alternate model with a charger for just the battery. But these wall mounts, they were both sandy and sticky. So, oof, these store a lot of water. These are going to be a big improvement. Unfortunately, there's a cavity around that steel plate, so there's going to be a lot of trapped water in there. But I'm hoping after I shake them out and I heavily douse them with rubbing alcohol, it'll be okay. There are already a little bit of rust on them anyways, so it's it is what it is. But I'm wondering if the sand that was on them was like silica sand from a sandblaster. Maybe that, or it's just general dust stirred up from forklifts driving through a warehouse type of thing. Oops. Try not to get water from these on my clean dishes. But yeah, looks like for the most part I did pretty good. There's a few tight nooks and crannies that I think are still going to be a little dirty, but it should be a lot cleaner than it was, and this should just slide into place now. Back and forth pretty easily. All that grit from the sand was making it hard to get off, and then also the sticky. But yeah, so I gotta waste water. I gotta dry these off now. So that'll be fun. Alrighty, well, everything's dry from being cleaned. I apparently didn't do a very good job cleaning because there's still some sticky residue that hung around, but I suspect that might be something that's not very water soluble, so we'll see if we can wipe it off with just some glass cleaner and paper towel. Yeah, just little wiping here. Get some of these nooks and crannies. I basically was just shaking these in the water and brushing with a toothbrush. So some of the things in there were stubborn, I guess. Also, some of this might just be permanently embedded in the plastic due to the fact that it's more of a chemical residue than anything else. But yeah, got a bunch of that sand in there still. So we're gonna use some Q-tips. Oops. Should probably be using rubbing alcohol. This really isn't even necessary. This is just do it while I'm in here type of thing. Some of these nooks and crannies were kind of hard to get to with the toothbrush. Also, that plastic shielding isn't going to stick in properly ever again because the adhesive's not in the best shape now, but it's okay. I don't know what purpose that served. Oops, got a glass cleaner on there. Otherwise, this is looking pretty good. Some of this is scuffs and some of that's like chemical residue, I think. Not sure what they were using these around. I think I'm scraping plastic off my fingernail. You know, I think I might get this a little bit more cleaned off camera because it's going to take me a while. I can't really tell what some of this is. It might just be how the plastic's worn as well. That's the other possibility. I think I'm going to hit it with a magic sponge because I don't really care about the surface finish, but we'll see how it goes. Alright, I think I got it as good as it's going to get. Now, next step is I need to salvage this pin assembly out of this unit. And the only thing wrong with this unit is that barcode is not readable. If memory serves correct. There we go. Yeah, so that's not readable. And I don't know how to replicate that barcode, or let alone fix the errors that have been caused due to the damage. So I'm just going to move the pins over. Oop. Unfortunately with this unit as well, the USB cable has been smushed. So I can't even salvage the USB cable from it. Ugh, this is filthy as well. Just going to set that off to the side. It's going to make a huge mess. It is what it is. Try not to damage the connector board assembly. There we go. Throw that off the side. Because I'm lazy, we're going to use the drill. That last screw, I'm going to use a screwdriver just because I don't want to damage the ribbon cable. So I'm going to have to clean this off real quick, get all that debris out of there. Alright, so I blew it off with some air. Now I think I'm just going to hit this with some rubbing alcohol. Very gently brush it. I don't want to break those pieces of brass. Oh, alright, that comes off of there. Cool. I should have known. I mean, it's not like plastic is generally molded into the PCB. But yeah, it looks mostly clean. Wipe off the debris that's attached to the board, or the housing, I mean. Since this is rubbing alcohol, it should dry off on its own pretty quickly. Oops. That flex residue. It's baked on there pretty good though. So anywho, I'll get this back in here. Let's see, which way was this? Oops, lost a screw. Sound like that. Technically don't need this screw because that's not the original screw. Or brain fart. It's not the screw from the other unit, but yeah. Anywho, just get this situated here. Wait, how is this? Oh, I got it backwards. Okay, a little confused there for a second. Goes like this. It's like I remember the ribbon cable being in the way of the screw. I need the top cover that goes over that. Complete the assembly. Try not to break the pins. And now this goes down in here like this. There we go. Gotta be careful not to damage the pins since I don't have spares without soldering and playing musical pins. Yeah, it looks like a lot of that's just scuffed. I could probably smooth it out if I was really careful and use my heat gun to kind of level out those high spots, but I don't really care. Mostly just wanted to clean because this thing was just filthy. Alright, so the board needs to go in next. And then that plugs into this little header here. Looks like this is actually long enough to do this diagonally a little flippy flip, maybe? I might do this off camera. It's hard to do things looking through the camera that require fine skills. I don't like these ribbon cables. They're such a pain to deal with. So one reason why I will never get into phone repairs, these just really tiny things. I can't deal with it. It's annoying. Now, I got that back in. The other one's not that important, so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to test it check with this cable and make sure that I got that ribbon cable seated properly, because otherwise it's going to be a huge nightmare trying to take it all apart again and deal with that. Alright, so the board did sync with the scanner and worked correctly. So I think we're going to get the bottom put back together. Also, I just realized I got to put the little springy locky thing back into place. It just slides over the edge of the board, and then it goes in between the little back piece here. There's some alignment tabs that the little nubs should pop through, except it's not, because I don't have this perfectly aligned. There we go, now it's aligned. Oh, that one doesn't feel quite right. Yeah, maybe it is. Let's see if it locks. Yeah, that's a nice locking feeling to it, so that should be good. Yeah, I think it's clean. I'm just scuffing the plastic up, making it look cleaner. Alright, so this needs to go back in place. I think I'm going to put the PCB in first. This should only go in one way, because it's not it's not symmetrical. So longer side pops down, presses in until it clicks. This can just go back in here like this. That's good. Now, just looking to see if there's anything I missed. Don't think so. I gotta connect that ribbon cable before I stick these two back together. This is probably not a one-hand job. Nope. Come on. You can do it. Oop. No, nope. I gotta sit down and put this on my lap. Trying to hold it up in the air in front of the camera and looking through the camera and lining everything up just doesn't work. Alright, that looks to be good. I honestly don't even need that bottom connector thing, but I just will get it put together right. Now the bummer is, since this plastic stuff isn't sitting correctly, doesn't want to align correctly. Should be good enough. So now I got to screw that together. This bit's not magnetic. I'm going to tighten this down with my screwdriver. I'm just going to do it with screwdriver in general. These screw heads aren't very good. They're like a Phillips 1.5, which isn't a thing. So they slip very easily. I do wish we could just abandon all the other screw standards and go Torx only. Man, life would be so much easier if everything was just Torx screws. Because Torx screws always work unless you do something really, really stupid. I think there's a fancy name for the screws that HP Compact uses, where it's a Torx screw with a flathead slot as well. Those are really nice too. But man, if I could just have Torx at a minimum, I'd be happy. And I did clean up the antenna. Cleaned up pretty nice. A bunch of drywall gunk all over the tip there. And unfortunately it's still crooked. Can't really do much to convince these to straighten out. But that'll screw into there like that. And then, yeah, now that these are clean, just a nice firm fit. Still some water in there, looks like. Yeah, I think that's water. I tried as hard as I could to flush it out with rubbing alcohol, because there was a fine gap in between. But, yeah. So the base station is pretty much done. Yeah, it's hard to tell what's dirt and what's not. Oh, I did a terrible job on that. There's still a bunch of grit in these holes. Not really somewhere a toothbrush can get into very easily. That's what the Q-tips are for. Not super dirty, but dirty enough. Kind of wish I had an ultrasonic cleaner. I wonder if that would have been... if that would do a good enough job, basically. Not gonna be perfect. I'm just going to accept that. But it's a lot better than it was. Now, the interesting one's going to be cleaning the cable. Let's see how dirty this is. Let's start with a clean towel. Cleaning cables is always hell, because they get so disgusting over time, especially if they've been in a dirty environment. So when I rub this cable down with this paper towel, the paper towel is going to start turning brown. I almost can guarantee it. Not quite yet. Yeah, see the brown streaks? It's actually cleaner than it looks. Don't know if this combination of glass cleaner and rubbing alcohol is safe or not, but we're doing it for a while now, so it's not toxic. Oh, yeah, there you go, more filth. It's, when it comes to cleaning cables, you kind of need a fresh paper towel and the right amount of pressure and the right amount of moisture. So like you gotta push hard enough to like lift up the dirt and debris that's stuck in the cable, but you can't push hard and pull too hard at the same time because you'll end up damaging the cable. Either pulling stuff loose or breaking the conductors internally. It's a weird balancing act of knowing how hard you can pull. Like I'm probably pulling a little bit harder on this than I should be, but I feel like this should be fairly reinforced as well, since it's for more industrial use. Like I wouldn't pull as hard as I am on a USB-C cable that I'm cleaning. That would for sure damage it. But with this, it feels like this might actually be a shielded USB-A cable, basically. And the jacket's pretty thick as well. Yeah, so you can see how dirty it is. It still feels dirty. Basically, there's stuff embedded into it. The other problem with cables like this is they tend to become porous over time. Especially depending on like what environment and chemicals they're exposed to. So they'll end up taking in some of the stuff that's in the air and like your oils from touching it and all that fun stuff. So it's probably not going to get perfectly clean, to my dismay. But it feels, let me find a dry spot, it feels better than it did. it's so hard to get things perfect when they've been this dirty. So yeah, this can be plugged into the base station whenever. I think the next thing I'm going to do though is work on this. Kind of curious what these screws do. So the power source for this appears to be a single 18650 battery. I don't think this is really user serviceable per se. I think this is more of a just stuff that way from manufacturer. Oh, unless this might be so you can replace the rubber boot. See if I can figure out how to get it apart to clean it better. I feel like there's a tab somewhere under there that I need to pry away, so this will hinge off. It's not very easy to feel for. Could also be glued on. I think I'm just going to leave that alone. I'm going to use this brush to at least get the dirt out of there. Oh, this gasket. Little rubber gasket here to get a good seal. I would assume these are made to be used in pretty horrible environments. Yeah, it's just not going to get perfectly cleaned, unfortunately. What if I can get it off from the front? No, there's not enough stretch. I have some spares, so I guess if I damage it, it doesn't really matter, but it's not my goal to damage stuff. Although this is my only known good battery right now, so I don't think I'm going to keep trying. Looks like... no, there's no keying. This gasket just slides on down. It's supposed to be bent. Just poke that down in there again. Okay, it's fine. I don't know if that's supposed to be bent. A little cleaner, but not perfect. Oh, this is going to be the fun one. Just wondering how hard it is going to be to get apart and get back together. I think I'm just going to clean this as is without taking it apart, unfortunately. More drywall. I don't know why there's drywall residue on these. I don't know what they were doing with them. But I think I'm going to clean this off camera. Alrighty, so I have a big old mess here now. I'm going to move this out of the way. Don't need that. Don't need these or those. Oh no. Oh, good, it survived mostly. But I'm going to start putting this all together. Can't cable needs to be plugged in. Multi-interface is where the USB cable goes. Locking pin upwards. Shove it in the hole, take your click. And we're going to plug this into the laptop. Windows 10 should have drivers for it automatically. Might take a second. Don't need that. Alright, so this should already be paired, so we'll just see here. Wake up. Yeah, it's already paired. I'm scanning the barcode on this tape. But I need to pair it, so it's in pairing mode right now. And that paired it. So, yeah, I'd say that's a success. It's working. And this battery might even be good. But it's hard to tell. It's a little bit cleaner. It's better than it was. It's not all gritty and disgusting now, so that's good. And I did an okay job cleaning this up. There's like a bunch of epoxy residue on the display, but I don't really know what the purpose of the display is. Like maybe there's something I can do with it. I'll have to read the manual. Oh my goodness. It's gonna start squawking at me. But yeah, I'll have to get this mounted on the wall and I'll lock it into place and run the cable through and plug it into my PC and it should be good to go. I also will probably plug in the power supply. I don't think it's necessary since it seems like it's working off USB power, but I have power supplies for them, so it's one of those why not kind of things. But hopefully that was interesting, and thanks for watching.